Modern marine safety is about tragic accidents and modern marvels of success. Ships are bigger, faster, safer, and more durable than could ever have been imagined when the Coast Guard took over marine safety. In 1947, a fire erupted on a Liberty ship loaded with ammonium nitrate. The explosion killed 581 people in Texas City, Texas. The Coast Guard's commercial vessel safety program had only been in existence for a few years when the Fort Mercer and Pendleton suffered hull failures on the same night in 1952 off the coast of New England. The Motorboat Act of 1940 was the standard of the day. In 1956, Congress passed the Small Passenger Vessel Act, setting standards for vessels less than 100 tons carrying more than 6 passengers. But the big event that year was the collision involving the Stockholm and the Andrea Doria, which sank south of Cape Cod. By 1967, when the fully loaded tanker Torrey Canyon broke up on the English coast, the Coast Guard was transferred to the Department of Transportation. The Santa Barbara spill occurred in 1969, followed by the Argo Merchant spill in 1976. By then, the International Maritime Organization, led by a U.S. Coast Guard delegation, had set new standards for load lines, collision avoidance, marine pollution, and safety of life at sea. And the U.S. Congress had passed the Ports and Waterways Safety Act, followed by the Port and Tanker Safety Act and the Outer Continental Shelf Act in 1978. Unfortunately, tragedies continued in the 70s with the loss of the Edmund Fitzgerald in the Great Lakes and the Sansania at the pier in Los Angeles, followed in 1980 by the loss of the Marine Electric, the cruise ship Princendam, and the Ocean Ranger, which was being towed across the Atlantic. Marine safety in the 80s was all about engineering, led by Bill Keim and Jim Card. Then, in 1989, the Exxon Valdez ran aground, the megaboard caught fire and spilled oil, and Congress passed the Oil Pollution Act of 1990. The 90s became the human factors decade, with a renewed focus on fishing vessels and small passenger vessel safety. Terrorism in 2002 preceded the Coast Guard's transfer to the Homeland Security Department. Cruise security standards established following Leon Klinghoffer's murder on the Achille Lauro in 1985 were revived in the Marine Transportation Security Act of 2002. The next generation of ships will be safer, more secure, and less polluting thanks to the marine safety advancements in engineering and human factors. In the decades since 1970, fatalities have dramatically decreased, as well as the number of major oil spills worldwide. Coast Guard Marine inspectors conduct port state exams, flag state inspections, and emergency shipboard drills every day. Modern marine safety is about facing challenges with activity, vigilance, and firmness. I'm Rear Admiral Jim Watson, Director of Prevention Policy, U.S. Coast Guard.